Hi people, that started quite quickly, caught me by surprise there a bit. I also do light language, something that I've put this video together to talk about today and give you some of. What is light language? It's not particularly easy for me to describe exactly what light language is, because I don't have the definitive overall answer to exactly what light language is. But it's the language of love, the language of light, enlightening language. It could sound to people like a kind of gobbledygook, if you like, for want of better words. But it's used for projecting love. It's used where people want to project love outwardly to their audience, to the people in their groups, to the world at large, when people want to project that love outwards. In a way, what I see it as is a kind of abstraction. It's like speaking in tongues. It's where you abstract sound from your own mouth and throat and heart and mind and thoughts and your own daily expressions of how you feel, and you project that out in words that are non-specific words. Gobbledygook, speaking in tongues, like I've said. I still have some issues with light language, and those issues are sometimes I see people doing things like going and yes, I struggle with this. This is my struggle. That doesn't necessarily mean to say that it ain't real. That's to say that I'm the one that struggles with some of those types of expressions. I kind of cringe and sometimes fall about sniggering. If I'm honest, I do. Just like I've had people fall about sniggering at some of my stuff. I'm not saying that even for me, that is not real and it's not powerful. I mean, it's obviously powerful if it can make me cringe. It's obviously powerful if it can make me react. You know, if it's making you react, it's powerful. No matter whether you like it or not, or accept it or not, or believe in it or not, as if believing in it matters. Just that for me, I cringe at certain things, or I find it weird. There are things that, even though I call myself a wizard, sometimes I find quite strange, quite weird, a bit out there. Perhaps one of the reasons why I myself struggle with expressing light language or hearing other people's light language and some other types of expressions is because in my neck of the woods, if I were to go around demoing light language, people would think I was some kind of a nutcase. I'm just being honest. I would be painting some kind of reputation, and when it came to applying for specific jobs or roles of employment locally, and the managers or owners of these companies looked at my Facebook page, they would think, who the hell is this dude coming out with all this weird stuff? There's no way he's getting a job here. You know, these things happen. However, to qualify this, the other side of this whole linguistics, language, healing expression is that let's look at Buddhism. Many of the chants in Buddhism are non-specific languages. non-specific linguistics. Many of the world's traditions that are even older than Buddhism, for example, see these images up here. These are from Dravidian arts that I've kind of briefly looked into. And all of these are also non-specific symbols, non-specific sayings and non-specific chants that peoples have done for thousands of years with an intention of putting enlightening moments into, moments of upliftment for people, love and healing and focus for people to get from hearing them chant or from looking at the images or the symbols. So while I'm saying it's kind of weird, I cringe when I see people going or whatever, the fact is that all language actually in the world has its roots in non-specific language, non-specific languaging and non-specific linguistics. So who am I and who are you to take the piss? Who am I and who are you to say anything about anybody's expression of light language? Who are you, who am I, to question anybody or doubt anybody or poke fun at anybody who is expressing an intention of helping other people from their heart in any way they so choose? Who am I to laugh at anybody who is a healer coming out with healing expressions that aren't necessarily English or Sanskrit or whatever? Okay, who am I to laugh at them or poke fun at them? Okay, this is a question that people poking fun could well ask. So I've expressed to you some of my personal feelings, how I literally actually honestly feel when I hear some people's light language expressions. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I'm more than willing and more than open to hear these people put me straight and say their side of why they make the sounds that I find so silly. You know, I'm more than open, I'm more than willing to be told, to learn my lesson. Okay, my life has been about learning my lessons on many scores, in many subjects, learning my lessons by making assumptions, sometimes false ones, and sometimes ones that are justified. But my life has been about learning my lessons. We all get lessons from other people, we all get our lessons from other people, and we all get our leg ups from other people. We all get our businesses from other people. So I'm hoping that a lot of you will join me in doing some of my version of a certain kind of light language. I intend that when people hear my light language, and I'll get to it in a minute, that they will actually join in and intone the same. For me, I've been involved with and done light language, speaking in tongues, most of my childhood and adult life. It's funny how easy it is to forget vast periods of your own life from time to time, isn't it? I mean, when I started getting back into light language through some of the light language groups on Facebook, etc., I remembered periods of my life that I haven't forgotten in the past, but I've told stories about them, other stories about them, stories about them from other aspects and other angles, and forgotten the fact that, for example, in my homeless days, part of which I spent over at Applecross in Scotland, with a particular outdoor group there. I was speaking light language there. There was a dude there who exploded on me and lost his rag with me and couldn't hack the fact that I was speaking light language. But I, probably some of you as well, forget vast periods of my life where I have actually spoken light languages or wizard language or speaking in tongues or gobbledygook, whatever you want to call it, aplenty for hours of each day or minutes on end most days of my life. And for me, that is true. There are people, including some of my latest compadres, people who I've met through my current circle, friends and friends of friends, etc., that actually don't know this about me because I don't tell them, I don't express it in front of them. But most days of my entire life I've spoken wizard language. And why I call it wizard language is because it's spoken with an intention that I'm laying into it, that I'm putting into it. Most of the time that's an intention to heal. Most of the time that's an intention to bring people goodness, good, to help people to even focus on the specific outcomes they wish for in a day, week, month, year, decade, for their lives, whatever. I'll just demo what I mean. I'll just demo some of my own wizard talk, but what I'll do is I'll also imbue it and intend it to project to you love, warmth, compassion, compadre, healing. Yes, healing for specifics, for whatever specific you choose that it's for, and a blessing and a wish that you get a specific outcome that you've been wanting for a while, but thinking that you've been struggling to achieve or manifest that outcome. I'm going to lay that into this next little piece of light language. Okay, now this is something that I do every single day. My family know this because I make it up as I go along, and sometimes they join in. I do this every day. I have done most of my life. Okay, so haunse ala kamiawam tamu. I go much more animated than this. I'm standing kind of still for the camera, but I go much more animated than this and throw my arms about and do wizard gestures. You know, for example, Samadniaum chok wal blink palans kumen your clown muapa. Hoot nit ma hamendul niapnansa. Now, you can laugh at me, I don't mind. You can call me all the names under the sun, I don't mind either. I've said that I find some of it cringeworthy. Now, by cringeworthy, I could also admit that anytime I hear any of them, even the ones that I was laughing at earlier, even these people, when I hear anybody doing light language, or I see any light language expressions, they all give me goose pimples, major goose pimples. Okay, now in Reiki they say that when you feel the Reiki flow you get major goose pimples. You do. I'm a Reiki master. You do. You get major goose pimples. It's described as being like the fine rain that falls from the mountains as a mist, but when you wipe your face is not wet from it. That's what it's like. And it is, you kind of go a little bit cold even, and get goose pimples. Okay, to qualify what I said earlier when I was laughing at the people, or other, I'm not just saying it's that expression, but it is other expressions of light language as well that sometimes I cringe at. Sometimes I get major goose pimples. Is that the same thing? But I'm protective and defensive with light language because I see how certain people could use it to throw doubt on your reputation, on one's reputation. Okay, and probably this is why I have the doubts I have about and within light language. Okay, it's not just either that I use as some wizard expressions. You know, it's almost like some kind of martial arts sometimes. And I've been known to dance about making up my own form of Tai Chi while I'm dancing and singing my plain song, chant, healing, light language, wizard speak, tongs, whatever you want to call it. Another aspect of light language that I kind of struggle with is when people are insisting that they are the special, particular, specific envoy of some star being Zardoobly Gar Grudgebadoo from the planet Zbingsbozaboo. Now, on saying that, there's no reason why that couldn't be true, and there's no reason why that actually shouldn't be true. We're all made of stardust, Ian Brown, aren't we? We all come from stardust, and we all have starlight and stardust and whatever other radiations and signals passing through us constantly, don't we? And we all have had these cosmic radiations passing through us for billions of years anyway, haven't we? Because what's out there reaches into here constantly anyway, doesn't it? So while I have my doubts, cringes, my own personal feelings about some expressions of light language, speaking in tongues, whatever you want to call it, I also do it and have done it all of my life. And I get the piss ripped out of me as well, aplenty. Now, I felt hurt and angered in the past by people laughing at me and taking the piss out of me and being derogatory and neg and dismissive of me as a person because I'm into these subjects. And as a 54-year-old man now, I've come through all of this. Though I'm still somewhat sensitive, I have to tell people that I don't care what their opinions are of me. I know that there are some people that will look at my Facebook page and see all of my sigils all over the place and will think I'm a crazy loon. Doesn't bother me. If I don't get the job because of the fact that I put sigils on my Facebook, then I don't get the job. I'd rather not work for a person who doesn't like what I do. Okay? I would rather stick to my own guns, practice my own arts, build my own online presence, even if at first people do think I'm a little bit crazy, and then build up a kind of following of people who do accept the fact that I'm into the subjects I'm into and I'm good at my thing. Okay? My focus is on healing. If any of the minimum wage jobs out there are not going to respect me and like who I am because I'm into healing, then I don't want to work there, and I don't want to work with those people anyway. Simple enough, yeah? I'm working from the assumption that if I carry on with what I do, I'll get there. If I continue to talk about and create online presence in my subject, that I will build my following. I will build my business. One thing that makes me laugh in a way is that I see so many young whippersnappers coming on Facebook and YouTube and promoting that they can help artists and coaches and healers to make it in their niche. Well, I want to forego all of that. I want to not have to employ any of that at all. I want people to know the subject I'm into. I make sigils, I draw talisman, magical writings. I'm now just starting to get into light language. My sigils, talisman and writings are light language, but what I'm talking about is the spoken version, the sung version of light languages. These are what I'm now veering towards, and I don't have to be in your presence to do it, and I don't need your permission to do it either, and I don't need your acceptance in order for me to do this. On the other side of this employment thing, yeah, it would be a shame if company managers and bosses out there looked at people who were into light language and healing and completely dismissed them. That's a shame. But if as a company manager that's the kind of person you are, then you're showing your colours, not mine. Okay? Though I am into all this light language and I study wizardry, I've studied Wicca, but I'm not a Wiccan specifically. I'm not a druid, though I read tons about druidry and the Merlin traditions. I'm not Merlin. I don't claim to be any special particular kind of envoy. I'm not Jiminy Dog Bling Babo from the planet Zabadabadoo, you know. I'm who I am, born on planet Earth. You know, I'm who I am. I'm me. I'm here. I've done jobs of employment throughout my adult life, and I've pretty much always been excellent at what I do, not just good. I've been commended for being an amazing communicator. I've been commended for being excellent and putting in the effort to be excellent at whatever job I've done. I've done plenty of kind of national minimum wage type jobs, the jobs that are relegated to people that don't have trades, and I don't have a trade specifically. I never left school with a trade, and I didn't get any training since, so I've been relegated to things like security officer, care assistant, taxi driver, stuff like that, factory work that I've done in the past as well. And I've been to college and university plenty of times to take various subjects, and I've always been a well-liked individual. I am balanced, even though I do say so myself, though because of COVID I've known 13 deaths in the last 3 years, and aren't I boasting, which has wiped me off my feet literally, and I have developed a number of stress responses and symptoms in my body myself, including collapsing legs, very, very painful joints, a kind of fibromyalgia type syndromes. My fingers turn white every single day just at the moment. So I've still, however, kept my personal emotional balance, though I have days when, because of the number of deaths I've known over the past 3 years, I break down and weep. At the same time, if and when I'm in public, And if and when I'm required to behave in a professional manner, I can carry that off very easily. So if there are people in my life or my work that want to go ahead and think I'm some kind of crazy loon because of the things that I'm into, you have my permission to go right ahead. Go right ahead and say, think and do what you want to say, think and do. But I know that I'm perfectly balanced. I know that I can carry off a professional position as well as the next man. So I'm going to do the intended light language intoning, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be intoning. I'm going to do the light language intoning, and what I would like, what I envisage for this is for my audience, whoever would like to join in with what I'm doing. I would even love it actually if people recorded their voices, maybe even their faces, make videos of themselves and sent them in to me as replies to this. And what I could do in time is create one of those screens on my video editor that has got loads of little videos of all the different people, you know, on screen, also intoning along with me, you know, me and tons of other people on screen intoning the same tone along with me. Now, I don't even mind if it's not the same tone or if it's not tuned perfect and specific. I'm not bothered. I would just like loads of people to join in with this. Now, in my opinion, if we had hundreds, thousands of people all doing this intoning, it would actually really make a healing intonation. It would with one person or two people, but with tens, hundreds or thousands, it would make a mega world powerful healing intonation. And I would love all of you people out there that are watching this to actually join in or record your own versions also. Now, I don't mind if some of you out there also want to add some music, some musical instrument sounds, flute, recorder, guitar, violin, zither, whatever. The more the better. Keep it beautiful, keep it beautiful, keep it a tone, keep it an intonation. This is what I want to begin with before I start getting into the wordologies and the individual sounds and the linguistics of light language. Join in, add bits to it. I don't mind also if there are people who want to mutter the linguistic light language words along with this tone. Make it beautiful, make it amazing, make it a true multi-layered, multilingual, multinational light language, tone, intonation, plain song, mantra, whatever. Okay, thank you very much. I'm just going to start doing this. Okay, I'm just going to start by just finding the most comfortable intonation sound I can find. I'm not going to think about what the tone is. I'm just going to make a tone. Ready? This is the tone that's just coming out. When I was imagining this, I was imagining a slightly different tone coming out, and I was imagining that it would be, my voice would be richer, my voice would be more encompassing, but this is the tone that's coming out. I'm also expecting that when people join in, what will occur is the intonations that you do will start a little later maybe, so the gaps where I've run out of breath will be covered by some of your intonating, okay? Intoning, intonating, whatever. And as I'm doing this intoning, I'm stretching out the filigree of my aura to spread all around the world and throughout the universe to anybody that's suffering or struggling, and bringing a vibration of healing and of focusing the things that you would like to achieve, manifest, magnetize, attract in your life. I'm hoping to bring you magic. I'm hoping to bring you the magic of luck, okay? The magic of good luck, of change for the better, healing and manifesting of the things you want out of life. This is what I'm doing with this very intoning, this very intonation, okay? Okay, I'm going to stop there. Maybe in time, when you all get used to me, when you all get used to my presence and my face online and doing this kind of thing with me, we'll make it longer. And because there's so many more voices and people and faces there, it'll become something amazing rather than just me standing here intoning. Okay, thank you very much. Actually, I'd like to give a shout out to Emily Anderson. Hi, Emily. She put this video onto Facebook, and I think it's absolutely amazing. For me, it was somebody who's feeling similar to the way that I feel about all of this light language. She's quite down to earth and sure does have what looks to me like a kind of cynical streak. And this is what it is specifically that has inspired me. She tells it as it is from her heart, and that she doesn't really like doing it. I don't really like displaying it in public, and here I am doing it on a video. Okay, so this video is absolutely excellent.
It's a really nice day out, and I just felt like, okay, maybe I should do a video out here. It's kind of like something my soul wants to do. So here we are. It's very odd because I'm such an introvert and I don't like doing this. But that's okay. I'm just gonna get through it and it'll be okay. I kept an open mind to it. Yeah, it's not hokey, even though I know it sounds like it is, but I'll just start with my light language right now because I have a lot of stuff I need to release, and light language for sure helps with that. All of these movements that I'm gonna do are pretty much automatic. And the vocalization is automatic. I will just start and go into it. Ashi, 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 ashi,
Thank you, Emily. I'd also like to give a big shout out to the intuitive Andreas Goldman. I've seen a number of Andreas Goldman's posts on Facebook and kind of ignored him for a while, not realizing he actually did this light language stuff. Recently I came across one of his videos and listened to it all the way through, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. One of the things that struck me about Andreas Goldman is that he's such a respected person. I found out some information about his background and his the list of people he's worked with and situations, work situations and professional situations into which he is called is absolutely amazing. Lo and behold, a few days later, I looked for that information again because I wanted to boast about the fact that he's a respectable person doing light language, and I can't find it anywhere. I've used umpteen different search phrases, but I can't find any background information on Andreas Goldman. His various social media profiles, there's just very little information on there. So I'll put his video on here anyway. Okay, here we go.
Hello and welcome. My name is Andreas Goldman and I'm an intuitive. As an intuitive, I use my senses, my consciousness, to detect if a person or a group of people is in disharmony or disbalance. And I use my voice and a kind of movement, a kind of shifting with my body to help people to come back in alignment. Why is this important to you right now? Because we want to work with our immune system. We thought because of the crisis all over the world and all the things are happening right now that people need a very good strength to go through their day, and they need to build up resilience. So let me help you with this. I want you to feel what is happening with you right now. I will sing, and I will use my voice to help you to get into a deeper state of consciousness. For me, this is what I do since 23 years, and open for change. Just go with me. Merechele, abadananchehi hidel, alamaran namokwanant, erecha, ebaishe nena, gelil man nish baden, ereyuch wakwala laranan, enin ebejin debat erechalal, andieichin the ko, andes maich, Hello, Hanchini, Alberneang, let me yish naejinende, Quemar Hasmoich Moa, Kelependi, Anachai, Chevete, Moakwoe. Shinji Nyejin no Hoach Moyek Albean Pedejin Awarat Elech Manai Ije and we Kal Madish Dede. You feel the subtle changes? Feel the peace and quietness that comes into your consciousness. Why is this important? Because as long as we think about our everyday work, about all the things that trouble us, as long as we think about them, we hold stress in place. What you heard right now is an old shamanic practice the old Celtic Druids have used to actually resemble a state of consciousness through sound that invites you to go into a deeper state of consciousness, to open up for change.
Agreed, Sir Andreas. Yes, for every second that we are thinking about our bills and our work and the daily stresses, every second we think about these things is seconds going by in which we are holding those stresses in place, because we are holding that world in place. We're not at work when we're not at work, yet we're thinking about work and imagining that we're at work in those stressful situations, and our brains are chattering away, giving us the wordology that supports that vision, and therefore we're also not in the present moment at home with our families, out wherever we are. So yes, every second that we're thinking about our daily lives and our work and our bills and all the things that stress us is a second that we are holding those stresses in place. Agreed. And light language as one thing helps to prepare us for change, for small, growing, filtering, growing bigger, big and massive personal life change. Yes, it does. One theory that I have, Richard Bandler, is that our lives generally are so narrow. You know, we even only see a small part of the light spectrum, a tiny, tiny narrow bandwidth of the light spectrum. Other animals and insects see larger portions of the overall light spectrum than we see. We only see a tiny fraction of what's there. We only hear a tiny fraction of what's really present. We only sense a tiny fraction of what's present. We only smell and taste a tiny fraction of what's present, of what's real in the world. in our societies, our cultural influences and stuff, we are so narrow. In our religious upbringings, we are so narrow that anything that is out of that narrow bandwidth, that's out of the ordinary, is going to have a major impact on us as people. It's going to create some challenge in us. It's probably also going to create more curiosity in us. Things we're bound to be curious about. Things we might be challenged by and even scared by. So agreed, the likes of all manner of mysterious things, light language, wizard talk, you name it, is going to have profound effects on us and prepare us for change and catapult us through change. Sure it is. Agreed, Andreas, agreed. It's quite a commonly used phrase that back in the old days people used to go to mystery schools to learn the mystery arts. Part of that mystery, part of that mystification process, part of that confusional technique as used in the likes of NLP and hypnosis and such, is the use of mystery itself, that awe-inspiring element that by and large most of us hope is present in anything mysterious that we study, anything mysterious that we look at, to expand us beyond the horizons that may have been set for us. We go to mystery schools to learn the art of plying mystery, and that includes creating curiosity in people with mystery. Creating curiosity so as to help people to leverage change within their lives. Something to adhere to stick to be curious about, to show some interest in, to build subjects of interest and study up over the years. So again, Andreas, agreed, totally agreed, that the likes of light language, wizard talk, speaking in tongues, anything that does have a mystical quality to it or a mystery about it, does open us up to change. Agreed. Thank you. Something I would love for this video and for my practice and for my time of building an audience that does come to me and listen to my videos is, well, I'm inviting you, all of you, I'm inviting you to also show me aspects of your lives in which, even in your communities, I'm focusing on the smaller communities, small towns and villages and such like, for you who are well respected, for you whose light language, wizard speak and speaking in tongues is well received and appreciated, to share that with us, to share that through me with us to the rest of the world, to whatever audience listens to my videos, so as to give my audience a boost in their light language practices, so that they know that there are places like theirs where they may have struggled, where they are actually well received in doing their light languages, instead of living in places where they feel that they can't share their stuff. Okay, that's what I'm hoping, one of the things I'm hoping that this video will bring. Okay, so thank you very much, and bye for now.